Hi, everybody, and welcome to another installment of Creative Conversations here at Lead With Your Art. I'm Delasia, the founder of Lead With Your Art. Super excited to be putting this on for you all for Mental Health Awareness Month and bring you all some new faces that you haven't seen before on our platform. You can get a chance to learn a little bit more about them. What they do as creatives and whatever discipline that they specialize in, as well as, how they navigate mental health in their specific fields. So I'm not going to delay this much longer. I'll let them introduce themselves and then I'll give a little overview
Yes.
of the platform itself and then we'll just hop right into it. Cool?
I suppose I could go first.
All right.
My name
I'll
is
pick who
Trey
goes
Harrell.
first.
I'm
Awesome.
Yes.
Mhm. Happy to have you.
Yeah. Hi guys, I go next. So my name is Rebecca Moore. I am currently a senior in Coker University. It's in South Carolina. I am a dance major. I started a little late. I'm 27, but it's a part of the platform that we're here to talk about today. So I'm 27 and I started a little late, but nonetheless, I am a senior. I'll be graduating next year. I've had numerous years of training in dance and numerous years in putting on shows and training other dancers. So my experience kind of reaches far out. Super excited to be here though.
Thank you. I'm super excited to have all of you, especially because I kind of met all of you in the same place. So it's really nostalgic and really cool. If you haven't heard of the African Heritage Cultural Arts Center, that's where I met all these beautiful people. Joseph as well gets a chance to join because his technology is being wonky, but if he hops in, we'll just jump in there. So thank you all again for being here. It really means a lot. I started Lead With Your Art out of the need for community, and understanding that a lot of times as creatives, people in our lives don't understand that just because our professions are not the most lucrative, but you know, that they don't think we can make anything of it with our lives. And I think that is the absolute not truth. That made no sense. It's absolutely wrong. And so I built this platform, one, to create a space for people who not only just need local community, but anywhere else. So we have a monthly membership and an annual membership that you all can join. We have an online platform on circle.so. It's really cool. We post events in there. We do meetups, not just here in South Florida. I travel for the events as well. I try to do some not in Florida just to, expand our reach and make sure the organization reaches as many people as possible. And so we'll leave some time at the end to talk through questions about that. But I really want to jump in and talk about mental health. I'm super excited. It can be a really taboo topic, especially for the African American community and even more so for creatives. And so I'll just toss a question out there and y'all feel free to jump in. It doesn't have to be like one at a time. I want it to be a supernatural conversation. But my biggest question is always, as creatives, we are expected to like produce art and put on shows and be the lightheartedness and the beauty of the world. Where do we find time and how do we balance also taking care of ourselves, especially when it comes to mental health? Anyone feel free to answer.
I think also just realizing that the art that you're in, it's for a reason, right? So we're not gonna purposely sabotage ourselves. So the feeling of um, not giving yourself a time away from your art, it shouldn't hit as hard. And then when it does, it's really just about realizing the smallest things that we do naturally on our everyday life. Like I go get my nails done, and that's time set apart for me already, whether I realize it or not. And I could have, just sit there and scroll on TikTok the entire time, but it's the smallest things that I realize that I naturally do that I'm like, you know what? I don't have to go spend 10 hours at the beach one day on a Saturday and call it my time away from art if I'm overwhelmed, or I can. But for me, more about realizing the smallest things that I do is my time away from art, even when I'm in art, even when I'm just like, okay, let me take a water break, you know, even when it's that, just not being so hard on yourself, realizing that you're in this art for a reason. If you want it as bad and you realize, certain patterns are happening, focus on the smallest things that you do.
I love that. I think it's really important, like both of you said, to embrace like the normal moments in your lives. Like I tell people all the time, self-care and of course mental health comes with that, but self-care doesn't have to be this big grandiose thing of like I don't need to buy myself a new purse that costs $500 and call it self-care. I don't need to go vacations are good for some people, but practically I don't need to go on a vacation every month to say that I got some time away and I got a chance to rest. And so really considering where you are in your head when you're working on your art and when you pull away from it and how that makes you feel is really important. So I appreciate both of you chiming in on that, and I guess Trey will pop back in when he's ready to pop back in. We're gonna keep going. I'd love to hear a little bit more about your individual stories, just to give it some time. I know, Becca, you said that you wanted to talk more about your journey, and so I'd love to hear more about that from each of you.
Cool. So I'll just go ahead and go first. So um, my journey, that's kind of so my journey with my art, which my art is dance, um, and I dib and dabble in other art forms as well, as we should. But my art form is dance, and it has always been a part of me and in
It
my life
has
since
always been a part of me and in my life
I was
since
like born.
I
Really, I
was
like to
like
say I grew up in the
born.
church
Really,
doing
I like to
it,
say
and it was
I grew
always
up in the
something that
church.
just followed me, and it had to follow me. I think recently, in more recent years, I realized that I had a problem or an issue with the art that I chose. I suppose it wasn't finding me, so to speak, or the way I was looking at it was wrong. Social media can be a very big influence when you see others thriving and you're not, or you see others thriving in a way that you want and it's not supposed to be for you. And so that um, took a big toll on my mental health, just watching everybody succeed and watching everybody like fight for these things that I want. And I'm like, why isn't it coming to me? And so I lost dance for a while, and I choreographed here and there, but as a dancer, my body, I did not do it as much. It wasn't until recently I just went out on a limb and I was like, you know what? I'm 26 years old. I do not like where I am. I do not like that I gave up on this art that continued to follow me no matter what I did, even if it was just choreographing and not dancing. And I applied to Corco University out of state somewhere I've never been before, and I got in. And now it's like all the opportunities, everything is opened up to me, and it just comes, it just flows. You know what I'm saying? But the in between before I got to Coker, before I even sent out an application, that was the very like rough part of my journey with my art. A lot of questions, a lot of deep, dark holes from my soul, like my core. Like, why am I alive if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing? What I think I'm not supposed to be doing. And so, yeah, I think within this first year of going to Coker and realizing my whole entire history with dance as the person that I am right now, I realize I'm a person who is a leader. I'm a person who's always had what it took. I'm a person who is determined and will fight through to the end to see whatever outcome God wants for me. I'm a person who just loves dance with her whole entire body, mind, and soul. And so that's where I am today with dance.
That's beautiful. Oh, I feel like I just caught up with you in like 20 seconds because we haven't talked in forever.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That is beautiful. Well, Joseph is on and Trey dropped, so I guess we'll just play hot potato between the guys, for now. So Joseph, say hi, introduce yourself really quick before we hop back into the conversation.
Hello, y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Betty. Hi, y'all. I'm Joseph Miller. Um, you know, my claim to fame is the saxophone slash whatever. Currently residing in New York City, Harlem. And that's where I've been for the last like 6 years or so. Yeah. Nice to see everyone too. I love seeing you guys. It's kind of nostalgic moment right now.
I said that. See,
It's hitting me really hard right now, high key, man.
It's so crazy.
But nice to see you guys.
absolutely insane.
For real. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, Cece, go ahead with your journey. And again, I feel like I think it'll get more natural as we go along, but yeah, just go ahead and we'll piggyback off of whatever you say. I know that's right. I love that. Thank you so much. So guys, I was just asking the girls to share a little bit about their journey, just as when it comes to growing in the art discipline that you've chosen as a career and what you want to do with it. You can speak to like any points of difficulty, hardship, anything to just help the conversation go. And again, I'm gonna say it again because I feel like I'm bad at moderating. Just jump in, y'all. You don't even have to wait. Like it's a regular, normal conversation. So, whichever one of y'all want to go.
I could start. I could start. My journey started around I was 5 years old. I was just a little boy, just trying to discover new things to do, and I discovered that I could sing. But little did I know that my dad was also a singer. He was also an actor. He was also a performer. I didn't learn this until I was older. So as I learned these new things, I started singing in the church. And when I started singing in the church, I started getting discovered by other people. I got discovered by Miss Roberts. Miss Roberts, she showed me to the African Heritage Cultural Arts Center, which my dad was also like working at. And through there, not only did was I singing, I discovered the world of theater. And I would say that the world of theater, it was trying so hard not to be kind to me, or I was trying not to be kind to the world of theater because I didn't feel like I wanted to be a part of it, mainly because it was something that was so new and so robust and so out there that I didn't see myself being that. And I felt like I couldn't do the things that others could do. I didn't feel like I could dance. I didn't feel like I could act. I did know that I could sing. And that's what kept me in it. I got into this teacher's class, Mr. Booth. Mr. Booth, he had me in this class, and when I was in his class, he was hard on me. And I didn't like that he was hard on me. So I quit the class at first. And then when I quit the class, I got to see the performance that he dreamt up and that he prepared for all the kids. And when I seen that, I said, I got to be a part of that. So the next summer, I did that. I got into those classes. I did all the classes. And that love just grew and grew and grew until it was time for me to go to 11th grade. Mind you, I was going to American Senior High School. American Senior High School, it didn't have much artistically, so I felt stuck. But then I found out that Mr. Booth was going to be teaching at Michael Crop Senior High School. And he was getting other students to come along. So I asked, I said, can I please come along. And that's the thing about, you know, rejecting something and then finding out that it was for you. I put in so much work. That's that one summer that he saw the value in me, and he was like, yeah, come along. Because it was a magnet program. Not everybody was allowed to be in a magnet program, but he saw that I was really trying to go for this. And I went for it. And he saw that potential in me. So I went to go to Michael Crop Senior High School. And it was it wasn't culture shock because it was like the African Heritage Culture Arts Center. It was mostly black, and we got to like just do all the things that was around theater, not only black theater, but just the world of theater in general. And it was just an amazing time to be a part of a family like that. And I love that experience that I had for myself. Fast forward to 2020, that was when I graduated, COVID year. Um, um, I go through COVID. Mind you, I wasn't a very good student. My high school years, that all changed once I got to Dr. Michael Crop Senior High School. And I didn't have many offers for me to start majoring in theater. I went to this conference called FTC, which I auditioned through like a chain of colleges. And many colleges called me back to audition, but it was one college that actually accepted me on the spot, Valdosta State University. And it was in Georgia. I was like, oh, I I mean, I don't want to stay in Miami, so I guess I feel like I'll go to Valdosta State University. I, I was banking on it. I, I felt like it was one of those things that it was an impulse that I was probably going to go there and then transfer somewhere else. But once I got here, it was one of those moments where I felt like this was the place that was made for me because not only did I learn a lot of new things, but I strengthened the technique that I already had. And it was culture shock even coming over here because the program was predominantly white. And coming from Miami, if you know like the stigma between Miami and like in Georgia, it's everybody is nice over here. Everybody in Miami is not nice. So it's just I had to get used to that, and I had to find new ways to communicate with others, and that was hard for me my freshman year. I really wanted to leave. I wanted to go to FAMU, but it was it was so much opportunity that I didn't even get to crack at Valdosta State University yet. And when I got to crack at that opportunity, I was like, okay. I mean, I did like 3 shows in 1 year. So why don't I stay at a school that's offering that many opportunities? So I stayed, and it's been amazing so far. It's been amazing so far. I've learned so many things. I've strengthened my technique, but it's still things that I have to learn as a Black artist in a program like this, because even though they try to do things for our good nature, it's not going to always be in our good nature and for us. And it's hard to navigate through those things, but it's also up to us to speak out on those things. So that's what I've been dealing with as of lately.
Now that I think about that, I actually have a question again for anybody. I guess Joseph can go because he hasn't talked. But thinking about being an artist, and more specifically being a Black artist, and finding ways to make space for yourself in places that weren't originally created for you. A lot of times, especially in creativity, people thrive off of Black innovation, Black imagination, Black talent, and Black creation, and still try to push us out of these spaces and marginalize us. So how do you deal with that, and how does that impacted your mental health? Especially you, Joseph, being in a place like New York.
Hola. Okay, great. Yeah, I guess like the thing about New York is like Trey said too about Miami being extremely diverse and in its own way. New York is like 20,000 times more diverse. So like a lot of the problem is like you have to try to navigate because you don't have like there's a bunch of different groups here that are all trying to get kind of the same spots that are all limited, I guess you could say, especially in the theater world up here. Oh my God. Like it is absolutely brutal. And like, I guess the main thing that I've seen too is just like when you're in those kind of people create their own spaces amongst each other. Like even now, like we have, like in my place with some of my roommates, we have like potlucks and different things like that just for Black people in order to like have some of our own spaces so we can just be Black. Because there's some times up here, even in 2024, where like we just being Black, loud outside playing music and stuff, and people call the cops or they tell us to shut up or they, things like that. Not in Harlem, of course, but downtown somewhere, if we downtown or doing something like that still happens in 2024. And so it's like how it works is that even though, yeah, you may not be the person who like calls the final shots, but yeah, there may be somebody in your corner who looks like you who may be just under that person, or they're the assistant of that person, or even sometimes, rarely, they are that person that chooses. And then you kind of hope in that regard that like, hey, like, I hope you see my talent. I hope you see what I have to offer. And, I hope, something will work out. Like you just never know how things will work. And I will say that at least up here, it's hard to like kind of carve out your own space. And I'm struggling with it too. Like trying to carve out, because even there's a lot of us from Miami specifically up here, it's still hard for us to kind of like carve out our own spaces because some of us ain't getting hired like that. You know what I'm saying? Some people ain't, and sometimes it'll be because of the way you sound different or the way you act is different. Like in your acting skills, the way you approach a character is different than most other people. Or sometimes you bring your own experiences into the character. Like even for me playing saxophone, I bring my own experiences from church or other things into the way I play. And sometimes that isn't always acceptable in certain spaces. And so sometimes you have to really be like, hey, kind of like, forget you, I'm gonna do what I want to do because I know what I have to offer is greater. There's people up here. Give you a prime example. The biggest one I know is we know John Batiste, right? 5-time Grammy Award winner. One year he wasn't getting hired. Sometimes it was because he's too talented. Wouldn't you figure that out? It happens. That's just kind of the way it is sometimes. And you just kind of have to carve out your own spaces. So to answer the question, like really, it's just like carving your own spaces and just being like, hey, I know they're not looking at us, but we looking at us. So let's try to like create our own thing while we're also trying to kind of tap into the world that is already there.
I love that. Anybody else got anything to add?
Yeah, I'll piggyback on it. Oh, okay, cool. I was gonna say it's funny that you say that because I hadn't thought about it in that way. And it's not maybe because I'm not like auditioning as often, and maybe it's the art, but I do know exactly what you mean, and I've heard that same thing being said by so many other artists that we work with on the everyday, life. But the way that I kind of do it is I'm solely like unapologetically myself at all times. And it took a while for that to be that way. And I don't know if this is like a bad thing. Maybe you guys can like have your little opinions on that, but I don't know if it's a bad thing or not. But I completely ignore this thing of I'm black and I have to like represent this black at all times because yeah, I am black. You can see me. I'm visibly black. But what does that have to do with dance? You know what I'm saying? And it may be crucial to a role that you're
Mm-hmm.
auditioning for or something that you're looking forward to. But the way that I process my art, the way that I walk into spaces that are new and even same spaces, I'm just myself. And whoever I am in this moment that I present myself is who I am. And I could be someone completely different tomorrow. Not saying that I have 10 different personalities, but what you see today may not be the same for tomorrow. And it's just, I'm unapologetically Rebecca. I move this way, I act this way, I smell this way, I smile, I don't smile this way. It depends on literally myself. I am self-centered here first before anywhere else. And so that's kind of where I keep my focus. It's very, very easy, in my opinion, to like worry so much about what everyone else is thinking. You should be worried about,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not in agreement with that at all. Like, I don't want to worry about what you want to worry about. I want to worry about me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's just me or not, but I'm very much like this. Like,
No, I agree. Yeah, because a lot of times when you think about it, it's taxing to take on the burden and the trouble of an entire race, or even an entire gender, or an entire age group. You know what I mean? And so I think it's really good that you have the ability to separate that out because for me personally, I don't work in my 9 to 5 is not in a creative space. I work in marketing, but more so it's like numbers and data and other people's money. And I'm like, I'm the only black person at my job. But I'm like, what difference does it make? As long as I get my job done, I'm in here and out, and I'm getting paid my money, it's cool. Now, if you make it an issue, that's very different. But for the most part, I do agree. I try my best to just operate at a mindset that is outside of that. But I know for some people it does weigh on them, and it possibly could come from just like their general upbringing, their family, or you know what I mean. So that's why I asked the question. But I love that because I'm there. Ciara, you were gonna say something? All right. She'll be back. I felt it coming. I was like, oh, okay.
I thought it
I
was a me
think what
thing.
she was saying was just like, no, no. I usually try to power through because I'm like, it'll come back, and then it didn't. But it's all right. I think she was just saying that people really. She agreed that people do try to like take what Black people create and put their own spin on it or take credit for something that we made. I lost the end of it. I'm not even gonna lie. So we'll let her pop back in on it. But if anybody else has anything to say to that point, speak now.
I could piggyback on it a little bit too.
Mhm.
It's it was hard for me to keep my authenticity. It's in the space over here, mainly because it is mainly like a white centered institution, and there's favoritism in that. So, but I didn't know that my authenticity is what made me, And once I found that out, which was very short for me to like, it was very short time for me to learn that. It didn't take much for me to learn that. I had to stick on to that. Sometimes it's to a fault because in the world of theater, there's also other factors like marketing yourself, and it's like
Mhm.
it's other things that's like they tell you, oh, you got to open up a little bit more. And it's like maybe I don't, you know, maybe I don't want to open up a little bit more. Maybe that's where I'm at, but I'm still getting the opportunity to still do what I love, and I'm still doing it at a high level, regardless of what they say I should do. I'm still being myself. It's not that I'm being closed off. It's just that that's what saves me from not feeling like I have to step outside of myself and be something that I'm not, you know. And learning that lesson was very instrumental for me for my mental health as an artist.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Joseph, you're on mute if you're talking.
No, I said, does she want to finish?
Oh,
Who, me?
Can y'all
Oh,
hear me?
never mind. I guess like what you were saying is factual, Rebecca. Like, I think that's the ultimate goal is like getting to a point where it's like, eh, eh, this, like, I'm going full steam ahead. I don't care what nobody say. And you kind of have to have that kind of energy when it comes to music. I'm only now starting to learn that because, like, for so long, it's been like, no, I've been, especially when it comes to like, I guess my situation, like, I feel like when it comes to the saxophone, that's kind of the main drag. It will change soon, by the way, just to let you guys know. But when it comes to the saxophone, it's always as if like there's a certain idea or way that things that it should be played or should sound, you know. And everybody has this idea, and especially when it comes to the jazz specific world, like there's a certain way it's supposed to be played, and that's it. And a lot of the competitions, or a lot of the schools, a lot of the um, you know, grants or things like that you would apply for to do things, they all have this. Well, one is there's about maybe max 30 people total across the U.S. Maybe probably more, a little more, that kind of decide. Because all the teachers are kind of the same. All the people at the top are the same. So like they get chosen to choose certain things or do certain things, and they end up choosing like this like kind of archetype of what something should sound like. And I feel like that happens even more in other genres, or theater or whatever. Like we have this type that we want for this thing, and that kind of happens in the instrumental world too. And I think that's kind of what got me as far as like like what am I supposed to? Am I supposed to play differently, or am I supposed to act differently? Like, because it seems like this type of person is always getting the I want. So like, do I have to change now, or do I supposed to? Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to make bread. So like, I mean, I love the music, but I'm trying to live off of this, and New York ain't cheap. So it's like I'm trying to live, and it's just like, well, it seems as if I have to do this certain thing in order to get these things. That's what it seems like. But and that comes from I feel like that comes from coaching and other things, because I mean, I went to New World in Miami, and so like New World, like I feel like they just it kind of like pigeonholes you into this thing. Like everybody goes to these schools, everybody goes on to this do these things, everybody goes to New York or LA, and everybody goes and like you know everybody has to become these things because that's what all the alumni has done, you know, and it's like nah, I don't want to do that. I don't see that. Like that's not what I want to do. Or like, or even coming up here to New York and you see all like there's a bunch of alumni or like there's a bunch of Miami people in general, and sometimes you know it could be a little different. Like maybe I see that like I don't want to do that, or maybe I see that or I don't want to be that. You know, I don't want to do this, or and I'm kind of in that stage right now of like, oh yeah, I'm looking and I don't want to do that. I'm looking, I don't want to do that. I'm realizing how unique what I want is because I'm me. I'm not like anybody else. So I've learned now that like, oh yeah, I can't do what everybody else is doing because I don't want what everybody else wants, or at least who in my field of view, the people I see, you know, I may not want to be like that. And there are a couple people that are doing what I want, but the masses don't like them, or the masses doesn't pick them. And I'm like, I see. You're going to be hit a certain way. You may have to take a couple hits in order to do the things that you want to do initially. But the thing is, you'll be happier. Your mental health will be a lot better. All of these things, the things that matter will be better. And I feel like in the long run, you probably thank yourself for taking that leap and taking that risk to follow the passions and the things that you want to do within your soul and kind of going gun ho with that. And to be honest, at the end of the day, you'll probably end up more successful than the people you were trying to be like to begin with.
Absolutely. That was a lot. That I
I was
love
just
it
gonna
though.
ask if I can. I was gonna ask.
Yeah, listen. Go ahead.
um, I guess specifically to you, Joseph, since you were already talking, and anybody else can answer as well. What about those specific points or times when we get that no? You know, I'm more focused on before we realize, oh, I don't have to be this way. Oh, this is actually working out for me. Like what about those specific no's? Where does your brain go? How do you deal with rejection? How do you, what makes you keep turning the wheel? You know what I'm saying? And what brings you out of the hole, a direction that you don't want to go in?
That's a really good question.
I have an answer for that. I have an answer for that. Um, like y'all know where we come from. We come from a grit and grind kind of place, and there's a culture to it. You know, it's just those no's, they hurt. They hurt, of course. They hurt, of course. You know, but being in places where you've known that people have accepted you, and going to those places where they also say no, it's like I know that I'm accepted no matter what. So it's like now it's just the work to go through with it. Like it's still work at the end of the day. It's still, I won't even say grind. It's just like keep on putting yourself out there. Keep on making your face be known. It's just it's never an end to it. But also take a breath, reassess everything that has been going on. Maybe you could assess what went wrong, or maybe you can assess things that you could have done differently. So it has to be a fine line between the two, because I feel like a lot of things that we we go through, because it all stems from where we come from. We see so many people, so many artists go through this grit and grind thing. It's like, oh, grind never stop. And we try to like incorporate that until it hurts you. You know, it mentally hurts you. And sometimes you can never get away from that. So it's about finding that fine line between, okay, yeah, I do need to go on, but also I need to assess what are the things that I need to work on as an artist and just as a person in general, and just breathe in the air for a second. And that's what I have to say about it.
That's so good,
I
Trey.
don't
And
have an
I'm
answer.
sorry that
I'm
I
still
oh,
working on how to deal with rejection personally. So I'm in therapy now for it. Actually, I've been in therapy for the last year for it. So yeah, I'm still working on it.
Thanks for being honest, of course.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts a lot for me, and for me personally, I went through a couple of other things, and like I rejection from family members and other things like that. So like it kind of all stems from that, and then getting to know it feels like, it feels deeper than what it is, you know. But yeah, dude, I was told no last week from the Kennedy Center in DC. So like, that one didn't hurt as much. I will say that. But I did something last year out in LA, and I was rejected, and that hurt like nobody's business. So yeah, and that was because it is some. I'm still working on it.
I think that it's really important, like we said, to take time to reflect. Remember that we are human at the end of the day. As artists, again, we put out a lot for the world to gain from us, a lot of joy, a lot of emotion, a lot of ways to relate, a lot of ways to cope with all the hell that is happening on earth, really. So if we don't take time to take a step back, like Trey said, and really remember that I'm human too, and I cannot solve all of the world's problems by dancing or singing or getting on stage. But for the time that I do have, if I want to be my best at it and I want to give people the best version of me when doing it because I want to make the most impact, I think that we really have to give ourselves grace from time to time and not hold ourselves to the fire so much, because we can get caught up in it. Even with starting lead with your art. If you know me, like I sing, I do the stuff, but I like to be a what's it called, behind the scenes girl, and Joseph hates that for me, but it's all right. I nope, I'm gonna stay right here. And again, I built this community out of experiences of being told no, of experience being around people who I thought um loved me for me, and also shared these very intimate spaces with me regarding just my art and everything. Yes, Ciara, we can see you. Say something.
Hello.
Okay, cool. Um, Yes, we can hear you. Perfect. And so being a part of just places where I thought people who were super close to me started to be like, oh, well, you're not this good at that. I mean, you're not that good at this, or just giving really slick remarks. And like, it's just like, where is this coming from? First off, like, I thought we were cool. And so all of that stuff built up in me, and I was just like, okay, I'm either going to sit and sulk, or I'm going to reflect on how it affected me. Yes, process how it affected me, but then what am I going to do to turn it into something positive? And so that's what this is. And I'm really happy that we can all be in the same space and also be super transparent and understanding of each other's experiences, and know that we don't have to have all the answers right now. And so, yeah, Sarah, I'll let you go.
You can hear me? Can you hear me? You hear me?
Can you all hear?
You hear me now?
Okay, it's better now.
It's better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Gosh, I don't know what's going on with this connection, but you know what? The show don't stop. Okay? But no, I totally agree on what I was gonna say, like with the nose, when you're in this world of art and you're pursuing your passion, you're gonna get a lot of no's before you get that one yes that's gonna change your life. But it's the no's that's gonna build you up. And when it comes to these no's, you have the opportunity to let it make or break you. Simple as that. And it's up to you to decide what you do with the no. Are you gonna just sit and sulk? Oh, it was me. I'm a failure. Like they didn't want me. Da da da. Da. Or are you gonna, you know what? Let's shift this perspective. Maybe I just wasn't right for this particular role, or maybe this just wasn't for me yet, right? Maybe it just wasn't my time yet. And so use that to motivate you to, just look at it from a different perspective and see what you can do next time to do better, you know? And sometimes that no, like I said, may be what you need to get that better yes. Because what you wanted, there may be something even better out there for you, and you don't even know that. And I feel like with my journey, like I have really had to just like let God handle everything and really just trust in him and trust that um whatever he has for me will be for me in my time. I have seen a lot of my friends. Oh, it's going in and out. Oh, snap. Maybe I need to walk outside. Can you all hear me?
You're breaking up a little bit, but I can hear you.
Breaking up a little bit. Okay, let me wrap this up. I'm gonna walk outside though. But yeah, just all in all, you just really just have to um you really just have to oh, okay. You really just have to like use that no to like motivate you to do better. And yeah. I'm gonna walk outside now because
Absolutely.
child,
Okay.
the show don't stop.
It's all good.
I think that I have
Maybe the connection
another
will get
thing
better
to
outside,
add.
right?
Mhm.
Um,
Maybe.
you sound better now.
I sound better now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, period. And I look better. Cool. But yeah, you really just gotta keep going. The show must go on. Just like now, the show must go on. Keep auditioning, keep moving, keep working. So yeah.
All right.
I I would say that I have another thing to add, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something that I don't I talk about a lot with my friends because as somebody who once I came here, I didn't receive many no's, but also like other people that I knew that were also black in this program, they received a lot of no's, and it's it's like being in an industry like that and not knowing how to like even speak out about that, especially when you know the talent that those people hold, but also being in a place where you have to be grateful and be like, and that you're blessed and holding those things dear to you because yeah, I got the role, but in the same breath, it's like I have brothers and sisters who ain't getting what they deserve, and I know for a fact that they are better than a good amount of people on that stage alongside with me. So it's things like that that I see is just like and I hear those stories. It hurts, it hurts me. But the most that I could do is lend an ear and just affirm them that it's never been them. It's these institutions and it's these people that's saying the yes or the no because most of the time it don't even be other artists that's saying the yes or the no's. It's just it's not even people that have an ear that's even saying yes or no. So, or it's been people who have been out of it for a long time that's saying a yes or a no.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like it's never been the art. It's never been us. It's never been us. And that's what I really want to speak out about because a lot of people it comes to a point where we get all those no's to the fact that we lose sight of what we already have. And we have so much. We have so much to offer. We have so much to deliver.
That
I
that
also
was
want to
great.
add on a little bit more to that. I want to
Mm-hmm.
share, I guess, a general thought of a collection of stories that um, have been brought to me. Um, I won't get too much into detail because I consider them confidential, but I will say that recently, these last few months have been more of a season of frustration, a season of like of lashing out because of no's or lashing out because something didn't work out within our art form or our field. And I've always seen these people, and it's not to say that they're wrong, they navigated this wrong, but I've always seen these people, these specific people, go and attack the wrong thing or they go about it the wrong way. some people do it in a
Mm-hmm.
self-serving way. Like, I deserve to be, all high and mighty, and we have to realize, no, we don't. First of all, sometimes it's not like that. Some will go and attack other people right in their same playing field instead of going here. And I always say it's easier for me to say what they should have done when I'm on the outside of it, but it's harder when you're in it. But I would just like to say, make sure that in your reassessment, your assessment, realizing that what your art is, that when you take a step back, you're thinking about what you're fighting against, who you're fighting against. The no's, like you said, may have come from people that haven't even been in the business or the art in years. It may have come from whoever, Billy and Joe and Sarah. But is it Billy and Joe and Sarah that's the problem? You know what I'm saying? And also to remember that our art form is, like, in my opinion, the best form of revolting, the best form of, like, standing up for what we believe in. So why not use it? And social media has its own, like, power. You can just record yourself doing a monologue, or you can record yourself dancing improv in the studio. You can record yourself singing in the stairwell with all this big nice acoustics are there, and it's like, what am I singing about? Can I write about it? How do I show everyone that I'm a person in my art that will advocate and fight where I'm supposed to? Not you, but where I'm supposed to make sure that we're all believed in, you know? Food for thought.
Mm-hmm.
That is so good. And I really think like that is our greatest form of attack. It's our art, our voice. This is what we do. This is our passion. And this is exactly how we're going to make some noise, literally. And this is how we raise awareness. And we're going to get people's attention by doing exactly what we love. And I think it's just such a beautiful thing that we're able to do what we love while bringing awareness and just fighting for what we believe in you know and I too like experienced a season of just like rejection like this past semester before graduating has been crazy. I've experienced a lot of frustration, a lot of negativity, a lot of no's within my own theater department. Like, I'll be transparent, and I I was trying to figure out where to let out this frustration. I was angry at the professors. I was angry at the theater department. I was angry at myself, but who do you lash out on? It's not going to get you anywhere if you're going to lash out on the people that's just maybe trying to help you. You really just have to do the inner work. And I really had to realize that lashing out on Billy, Joel, and Sarah or whoever else is not going to get me that job in the future that I want. You know what I'm saying? So you really just have to humble yourself. You really have to take those steps and realizing, okay, maybe even if it wasn't you, just really just take that step back and just say, what can I work on in the future so that I may align myself to my destiny? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Absolutely. I love everything that all of you contributed. I'm gonna wrap it up because we're coming up on the last couple of minutes. Usually what I do with creative conversations is I have a really it's super quick lightning round of questions. It's a this or that thing. You don't have to say it one at a time. You can all come off mute and just answer really quickly to keep it lighthearted. I know we get for some of these, especially something about mental health, it can get really deep, it can get really dark, and I don't want people to leave the space that way. So just to lighten it up, I'm going to ask these this or that questions, we'll answer, and then I'll say one more thing, and then we'll hop off. Sounds good?
Good.
Yes.
Awesome. So you can all come off mute when you're ready, and then I will feed through. All right, ready? Morning person or night owl?
Night
Morning.
owl.
Ooh, morning.
Morning. It's
Ooh,
morning.
morning.
That's where my creativity flows. Like, literally 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, I get up, I could work out, you know what I'm saying, be
Woo.
productive, start my day, and
Yeah.
then babes, I'm good for the rest of the day. Okay,
Yep.
like,
Trey said,
I
no.
could wake up early. I could wake up early, but I'm good for going back to sleep. I would do everything that I need to do at night. I'm gonna record a self tape at 1 a.m. I'm stretching
No,
at 1
Hey,
a.m. I'm like, it's something to do right now.
I'm
get it in
snoring
how
at
you
1
Mm,
a.m.
can.
No.
Get
that's
it in how you
fair.
can.
Right.
Well, I will say I used to be a morning person. New York has made me kind of sort of into a night owl. Like I know, like
Mm-hmm.
I got something to do tonight, and I'm not gonna be done until like 1 in the morning. So I'm gonna get
Oh.
home like 3 this morning. Yeah, like 3
Mm-mm.
tomorrow. Like
God bless you.
Bless
God
it's
bless
your
just
you.
how it
heart.
is, bro. It's
Right.
just how it
Bless
Mm,
you.
is.
bless
Make it work,
you.
What's
I
the
guess. All right.
What's
Next
the
one.
next one?
Photos or videos?
Photos.
Of course, she
Photos,
says
photos,
photos.
photos, photos.
Say photos.
Yeah,
Model.
Photos.
Over here modeling and stuff. Of course, you gonna say
photos.
Listen.
photos.
Can I say like
Listen,
boomerangs?
okay.
In between?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, ain't that a video?
Boomerangs are fire.
Boomerangs
It's
do
like
be hitting though.
it's like a picture in picture, and it I don't know.
You're right. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Jam-packed vacation or like super rest and relaxation vibes.
Rest and
Rest
relaxation.
and relaxation.
Please.
Rest.
Ain't that what a vacation's supposed to be? Rest and
The
relaxation?
stress.
I ain't going
Listen,
on
some people
vacation to
like to
work.
go to Cabo and then have a full 3-day itinerary of
Yeah.
stuff to
Look,
do.
9 times out of 10, that itinerary ain't gonna get done. So I'm just gonna
Right.
relax
Facts.
and save my
Maybe like a
money
one
because
full
it
day.
already probably was a lot to get there.
Okay.
I'll
Yep.
sprinkle a little bit of fun in
Yeah,
there. I'll sprinkle a little bit of
yeah,
fun, but it
but
can't be a lot.
yeah,
You know.
Right.
yeah.
Awesome. Okay, last one, and then I'll give my little note at the end. Creating art for yourself or for an audience?
An
Audience.
audience.
Audience. I want you to get everything I got to give you. I promise I have good things to say. Audience.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, I
promise.
wouldn't even because it's a trick. I feel like it's a trick question because creating art for an audience. I mean, like it's productions that's for an audience. But if I'm creating art,
Mm-hmm.
like if I'm just in the crib or if I'm just like creating something that I just want to post, that's for me. You know, I
Right?
may have given it out, but like
well, you know what?
it's
Yeah,
gotta,
you could.
yeah.
You're absolutely right because I
Yeah.
said audience because when I perform, I love to just make people happy with what I do, and that's my passion. Just like literally bringing smiles to people's faces when I sing. If when I dance, when
Mhm.
I act, whatever. But also giving myself the opportunity to create for myself, and even if I want to be selfish and keep it for myself, that is what is going to make me happy for
Mm.
myself. That's going to help my mental health, my peace.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
and that's what's going
Yeah.
to fuel me to want to do more for people. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
the work that you do for yourself that is going to make it better for others. So yeah, you know what?
Yep.
Both. How
Both.
about that?
Both.
I'll
Both.
let y'all have I'll let y'all
Audience.
have both. Thank
Yes.
y'all so much. I truly appreciate it. We should talk more. We're a good
Yes.
group.
Yes.
We
Yes.
should talk
I
more.
miss y'all so
Oh my
bad. Like,
God.
Real
I
bad.
literally feel the nostalgia too. Like, this is crazy. I miss y'all
I'm
though.
here for it. So what I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to say was, so like I said, Lead With Your Art, we really just officially launched as a platform back in March. If anyone wants to become a member, you can go to leadwithyourart.co and sign up for the monthly membership, or just get it's a like I think 25% discount if you pay for the yearly membership up front. But because I love all of you so much and we are a budding community, and I want people everywhere because most of y'all are not even in Florida anymore. I would be happy to give you guys a free year of membership starting on June 1st. As long as
Yeah.
Ooh.
listen, here's the thing though, as long as y'all like posting y'all stuff and like, doing stuff, because I hate when I do stuff for people and then they just like joined and then it's it.
Yeah.
So what are we here for? Like I said, we are still growing. We're small right now. We have like a small number of paid members, but I believe in investing in and putting in belief in the people that I bring into the community and the people that I especially bring in for free. And I love all of you. And I know that you all have been very supportive for me near and far, and I support all of you as much as I can. And so that's my gift to you, and I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you so
Feel.
much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks, Dee.
Wow, thank you.
Of course. And at some point, we should all plan a trip to New York or somewhere.
Yeah, because I've never
Like you
been to New
said,
York, so
you
I need
When are
still
money
you
to
guys
fall
gonna be
haven't
in my
been
going?
hand.
here?
That's
no,
I need
crazy.
money to
no.
fall
And
in
I
my
do
You
gotta
gotta
hand.
go.
go.
Yeah.
I
You
do.
You
gotta
gotta get
go.
it going.
I
You
gotta
gotta
go.
go.
I gotta
Well,
Don't
go.
be scared. It ain't gonna
Yes.
bite.
I know,
maybe we'll
right?
plan a meetup somewhere in New York, and then we'll get together and do a group trip with a bunch of the members. But thank you all. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
hold you any longer. I told y'all this wouldn't be longer than an hour, and we're 5 minutes over. I love you to pieces. Share this talk with your friends. It is on Facebook. The link is also there. And I'll have if anyone wants to follow any of these beautiful people on Instagram, I know that I have them all tagged on Instagram on the post for the event, and the flyer will stay up. So feel free to catch them at their next big thing, their next little thing, their next everything. Thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Delasia. This
much.
was
Thanks,
amazing. I
Bye,
really
Delaney.
enjoyed.
y'all.